So the Chassid gets the ticket, goes to the theater. What does the Chassid do when he's at the theater? He has no business there. Falls asleep. He's in the theater, there's nothing to do there. He fell asleep. And meanwhile, the show's over, and everybody leaves. And the janitor sees this Chassid sleeping, and he wakes him up and he says, hello. Okay, good luck, everybody. There was a certain Melamed in Liozna who, when he heard that Alter Rebbe was incarcerated, he was very, very upset, and it affected him a lot. And when he heard that the Alter Rebbe was freed, he was so happy that he got drunk, and he got so drunk that he just collapsed on the road. And when the Alter Rebbe came back in the wagon, and they saw. And he saw him on the road. When the Alter Rebbe sees this Melamed on the floor, he says, "Oh, look, the rich man is snoring." Now everyone understood him as he was, Lashon Saginar. And sometimes, when you see someone poor, you say he's rich, sarcastically. So they thought that the Alter Rebbe was saying, "Oh, look at this poor guy snoring," and he just called him a rich man. Little did they know that the Alter Rebbe was actually saying what would happen going forward. A little while later, the army was passing through the town, and the way it worked back then is when the army had to find lodging, they would just send 3 to 4 soldiers to each house, and the people of the house didn't have much choice, and they had to let them stay there. So the soldiers come through this Melamed's house as well, and it happened to be that the soldiers who were in this Melamed's house, they were carrying the box with the money. They didn't have the bank system they had today. No credit cards or whatever. So they were carrying the box with all the money for their platoon or for whatever it was. The soldiers that were in this Melamed's house, they had this box of money. And it happened that all of a sudden the soldiers had to move very quickly. And the soldiers ran very hurriedly and they forgot the box in his house. And by the time they realized and they tried to come back and find and remember the house they were in, they couldn't remember. And the money stayed by this Melamed. Now, after the army left and everything, the Melamed goes to Alter Rebbe and asks him, what should he do? He has this money. So Alter Rebbe told him, listen, you should basically tell people that your job as a Melamed is very, very difficult financially, and you decided, that you're going to take another take another avenue of Parnasa, and start a small shop, but, do it quietly, kacha. And he starts a store, and after 6 months, the Alter Rebbe tells him to get a little shop, and he starts buying, and he has a lot of success. This Melamed, now turned businessman, would always speak to the Alter Rebbe and ask him for his advice on how to go about his business. So one time the Alter Rebbe asked him, "Tell me, where do you get your merchandise from?" He said, "I get it from Vitebsk." He said, "Where do the Vitebsk people get it from?" So he said, from Moscow, I think. So he said, "You could also go to Moscow. So if they go to Moscow, you can also go to Moscow." And so he started traveling to Moscow. And he got better prices, right? And then eventually the Alter Rebbe told, and he bought from Moscow, and he his business got bigger and bigger. And the Alter Rebbe once asked him, "Tell me, where do the people from Moscow get their merchandise?" He said, "Oh, they get it from outside of the country." And so he says, "You could also travel to places outside of the country." So he starts traveling out. Now one time he decides he wants to buy a present for the Alter Rebbe. And he buys a golden snuff box for the Alter Rebbe.
Still exists.
The Alter Rebbe was not very excited about the snuff box, and he expressed it in some way or form. And this bothered the Chassid a lot because he wanted to make the Alter Rebbe happy. So the next time he went and he bought a nice silver cane, beautiful, royal-looking silver cane. And again, the Alter Rebbe wasn't so happy about it, and he expressed it however he did. And so the Chassid asked, "What can I do for you?" So he says, "Next time you go, you should go to the theater. And there's many theaters where you're going." So obviously this sounds very strange, but next time he goes, he's staying by somebody, and he asks the guy, where is the nearest theater? And even though it seemed like such a strange request, this guy, a Chassid, asked to go to the theater, he said, "Okay, I'll buy you a ticket, and I'll tell you where to go before the theater." So the Chassid gets the ticket, goes to the theater. What does the Chassid do when he's at the theater? He has no business there. He falls asleep. He's in the theater, there's nothing to do there. He fell asleep. And meanwhile, the show's over, and everybody leaves, and the janitor sees this Chassid sleeping, and he wakes him up, and he says, hello, time to get up. So, anyways, he sees that he's a foreigner. This janitor sees that he's a foreigner. He says, where are you from? He says, oh, I'm from Russia. He says, oh, from what town? He says, I'm from Lyazna. So he says, do you know Reb Zalman ben Baruch? Right? He speaks to the Alter Rebbe on a first name basis. He says, of course I know him. He's my Rebbe. He says, oh wow, please send him hi from me. And he gives him his name. Now Yoni says his name was Carl, but I didn't see this in the story, so I guess a different place it says his name.
Well, Yoni is the type of guy that would know these things.
I think he heard it from Rebbe Paltil. Yeah. So Carl tells the Chassid to send regards to the Alter Rebbe, and when he goes into the Alter Rebbe, he tells him the Alter Rebbe was very happy, and the Alter Rebbe tells him next time he goes, he tells him take these Sfarim and show them as the Tanya. Take the Tanya, give it to Carl, but make sure you don't let him keep it. Just let him look through it. And so the next time he went, he was at Carl, he gave him the Sefer, and Carl said, these are very, very good. It's amazing. It's so good. You should be mefarshim it. You have to publicize this. And he went back to the Alter Rebbe and he says, now that Carl says that it's okay and that it's good and he agrees with it, maybe we should go and print it and put it out there. And till today, nobody knows who this Carl was. And this is the story of the Alter Rebbe and the Tzaddik Nister, who was a janitor in a theater.
He wanted to keep it, and the Chassidic said no.
Oh, so I didn't see that. Okay, so see, there's a lot of, I guess, in Folikan's book, I guess he doesn't say all these details. So, but
Other books maybe.
Yeah, maybe other books. So so Hanan added that this janitor, this Carl, who was really a tzaddik nister, wanted to hold on to one of the Sfarim, or hold on to the Sefer very badly, and unfortunately the Chassid had to turn him down because Alter Rebbe gave him instructions that he had to bring all the Sfarim back. But anyway, good tvach, and may we have a Mashiach Dekavach, where we'll see the Alter Rebbe and we'll find out who Carl is, and we'll have the perfect version of this world that we're waiting for many years. Good tvach, everybody. We love you. Smash the like button, subscribe. Until next time. Good tvach. And now for some bloopers.
3, 2, 1.
What? Stop.
Good? Yeah? Alright, good luck, everybody.
You don't know anything about cameras.
And when the Alter Rebbe came back in the wagon and they saw they saw him on the road.
We're in the wagon, the back or the front?
Oh, very good. So it was the Alter Rebbe's wagon, it wasn't Baal Shem Tov's wagon.
Oh.
So
Go the wagon.
Oh, but yeah, doesn't sound the same. Goes to the theater. What does the Chassid do when he's at the theater? He has no business there. But falls asleep. Puts up a tefillin stand, but that was obviously today. If a Chassid was there, he put up a tefillin stand, and then you'd have a lot of people screaming at him that we can't see, or whatever it is.
Down in front.
Sit down, yeah, whatever, or stop saying,
Stop checking your phone.
Stop taking selfies. Stop taking selfies. Okay.
In the middle of the story, turn off your phone.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Hey, I feel targeted.
Leslie, your bedtime is set for 10:25. Start winding down soon. Your phone tells you to.
Thank you very much for telling me my bedtime.
Your phone said.
You don't have to say in the middle of the story. I couldn't wait to the end of the story. Okay.
The microphone doesn't pick it up?
It does. It's fine. All right, it's okay. We'll put it in the bloopers.
I'm not in the frame, right?
You want to be?
No, thank you.
Next time he asks, he goes in the frame.
Otherwise, you'll
And-
Ukraine.
Oh.
And still Ukraine.
Thanks, guys. Can we get back to the story now?
multiple.
Yes, I can.
You're a creeper.
Anyway, so it's like
Who did you wave to?
so distracting.
Oh, okay.
Fuck everybody.
You waved to my wife?
Like
Shah!
kindergarten, you know?
Ask her.
I know, right? I'm talking to like little kids. Oh, wait.